At Chris Kehler Holistic, we demonstrate real healing and real caring to your health issues and needs. Our solution for you is an alternative to the alternative. Our out-of-the-box treatment methods are aimed to your specific well-being and are quite different than most. Venturing down the realm of quantum energy healing, Chris uses unique modalities of healing, such as spiritual intervention with pendulum dowsing, sacred geometry tools such as the neutralization, divinity, and sun ring. Another tool Chris uses is a 5-tiered pyramid affectionately known as the Silver Light Pyramid to activate quantum activity within the body. Also, Chris Kehler Holistic uses radionic technologies in various platforms with specific liquid mineral ionics to balance out excesses and deficiencies within the body. At Chris Kehler Holistic, our goal is to get tangible and measurable results in the least amount of time possible so you can carry on with what's important in your life. Another advantage to this unique energy healing is that it can be done at a distance healing session. So location is not a barrier and can be done conveniently at your home, office, just about anywhere through Skype or telephone conferencing. Eliminate costly protocols, expensive monthly supplements, high-priced allopathic operations, invasive surgeries, and dubious medication applications that keep you trapped in a financial and health rat race. Get a specific, customized, out-of-the-box solution tailored for your health recovery. At Chris Kehler Holistic, we are warm welcoming and want to put you at ease with your visit to us. Please visit www.chriskehler.net for further information as we welcome your questions and inquiries to starting this unique journey. At Chris Kehler Holistic, we want to show you that we are the alternative to the alternative and the out-of-the-box solution to customize an answer for you to spend less and gain more in your high vibrancy journey. Visit www.chriskehler.net. Real healing and real caring to your health needs.
Mr. Chris Kehler.
I am Chris Kehler, coming to you live once again from balmy Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. What is going on?
You say
what happened to my winter?
I don't know. I mean, it was like look at down here. I mean, I'm sitting here. I mean, we can smell the salt air because the breeze is coming in from the ocean. But it's 74 degrees. I mean, it's like I'm outside in my T-shirt,
2 weeks ago on the last show, it was pretty much temperate. But then all of a sudden, the last few days, like today was 5 degrees Celsius. That's just 5 degrees above freezing. What would that be for you guys, like plus 80 or something? I don't know. I can't remember my standard.
It's around there. It's around 70. By the way, the chat box is telling me to put on a bikini.
You know what? I'm going to take it because we do go through some pretty harsh winters here, as you always hear me talk about Winnipeg winters. And everybody in Winnipeg knows that you better be prepared for minus 30, minus 40. It's going to happen. It's middle of December. It's above freezing. There's a tiniest little bit of snow on the ground. I'm okay with it right now. It's quite well. My wife is Mrs. Christmas. She lives for Christmas and just loves decorating. And she's looking out the window with a big, long, sad look on her face, thinking, "This isn't Christmas without snow." I says, "You know what? It'll all be good. Don't worry about it. I'll give you some extra snow under the tree." How does that sound? And
no, well, I wrote on the chat box that this year Santa's coming and he's going to surf in. I mean, he's not coming here. There's forget about snow. I mean, they have, first of all, when they have snow down here, and even if the ground gets a little white, that's it. The whole town closes.
Yeah, well, we get like 3-4 foot snowbanks, and if we get a blizzard, we get snow and wind. The wind whips up the snow and it covers up your door. You need a shovel to get out of your top windows out of the house and shovel things out, and it gets pretty brutal. And that's what we expect here in Winnipeg. El Nino year is never a bad thing. I remember the first time I bought a brand new snowmobile back in 1997. We might have got about 6 inches of snow on the ground. It was a waste of $10,000, that's for sure. Tonight, we have some guests, and the show is called Holiday Weight Loss Tips. So if you're a turkey binger, if you got to have your sweets, if you got to have your carbs around this time of year, we got some people that are going to help you get past that. We're going to be bringing on Dr. Susan Smith-Jones and Michael Schwartz in just a couple minutes. We're going to be talking about how to keep the pounds off, how to keep that boyish figure, Bob, if you know what I mean.
Oh, man, I got it. I'm there.
For myself, it's like tips, schmibs, just give me some food. My wife and I both looked at each other and said, okay, Chris, look at the kind of work you do. You educate people on their health, and you got a few extra pounds around your belly. I says, yes, you know what? We all need to think about being healthy, staying healthy, eating healthy. The holidays is no reason to put all that aside and to let yourself go. So we're going to talk about how we can help keep your body at its fittest during the holidays. Now, some energy update.
Cool.
There's an amazing amount of things happening in this office. And again, I work 8 people a day, 9 people a day, sometimes 5 days a week, and always finding new things. The last couple of weeks has been no exception. Just all kinds of new different nuances coming in, new bodies to work on. I found we all have what's called a metaphysical body, other than the causal body, emotional body, yada, yada, yada. So we've been working within that. Now, also finding that we all have an incarnation on the planet Saturn. So quite often people are experiencing a health problem because they are on this planet, which is a negative dimension planet. It's very low energy. It's very demonic, and a lot of things like witchcraft and black magic and all these dark types of energies are generated from that planet. So our connection to Saturn can be a very big contribution to it all. And the whole thing with astral traveling, many of us astral travel. And I ask my clients, do you astral travel? And they go, yes, I do. I says, where do you go? He says, I don't know. I just go somewhere and this scenario plays out and I enjoy it. Quite often we are astral traveling to the planet Saturn, possibly Venus, and maybe another realm or a parallel or some kind of other universe where we can possibly bring back something that's not compatible with our bodies in this dimension that could cause some problems. Been working with that, been keeping some people grounded. And when I say grounded, not tree hugging, but your astral bodies, your etheric bodies grounded to this planet so you don't travel outside of this realm and possibly get sick or get some kind of problem creeping up on you. Another big thing, dryer sheet. I am actually finding that the chemicals from these dryer sheets, I'm finding problems within people. And I just did finish working on somebody like 10 minutes ago, and it did come up. And we made the changes within this person, and they felt a significant difference right away. So all these things that we read and hear about that are a possible problem, when I find them within my chart system, I work on somebody to remove it, and you get an immediate result. You know there's got to be some kind of validity to it. That's been my last couple of weeks, finding all kinds of interesting things to move out and work on and just help humanity get to that better state of health and a better state of mind. Now, a better state of holiday eating. Let's bring on Dr. Susan Smith-Jones and Michael Schwartz. Welcome to the program, people.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Michael. Hi, John Boy.
Hi, y'all.
Now, Susan, you've been on the show.
I have. I had a wonderful time with you. Lots of great positive feedback.
Well, we like to have fun here. We like to make sure that the listeners get some education that you can actually use, not just something that, oh, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind and give you my philosophy and hope that it resonates with you. No, we actually talk about things that you can actually use in your life. Susan, why don't you start off? What should people know about? What should people be aware of when the holiday season is here? You go to somebody's house and they put out all these goodies. They put out all of these snacks, chips, baking, alcohol, cake, you name it. Grandma's famous for it. You go to grandma's house, and if you don't leave stuff with your pants open, there's something wrong. What should people be looking for nowadays to help keep their figure at its optimum?
Well, I've got lots of tips we'll go through, starting with before you go to a holiday meal, don't arrive famished. About 30 to 60 minutes before you arrive, have something healthy and small to eat. Maybe a cup of soup, a glass of vegetable juice, maybe some whole grain toast and nut butter on it. But if you arrive and you're not famished, you'll watch your willpower soar and your waistline will stay in place. You also, the day of a holiday meal, there's a common strategy to skip breakfast and often lunch because you know a big meal's coming, so you save up on all the calories for the celebration. This always backfires because you come to the meal starving and you eat way more than you intended. So make sure on a day of a holiday party or a big family gathering that you eat throughout the day, smaller meals more frequently to help stabilize your blood sugar. And then the last one I'll mention now, and then I'll give it to you, Chris and Michael, is it's about the time in which you eat. Now, most people know that hormones signal the brain when you're full, but it takes 20 minutes from start time before you feel it. So slow eating not only aids in digestion, but gives your brain a chance to know what your stomach is doing. So make your meal last, by talking, putting down the fork. That's a novel idea, in between bites, and just plain waiting. That way you're less likely to eat an automatic pilot. But here's the flip side that most people don't know. The body produces a second hit of insulin when it senses that lots of food is coming in continuously. And you can avoid that second hit and all the subsequent fat storage that it triggers by finishing within an hour of starting. So if you see something that you like and you forgot to eat within an hour, that's all right. Save it for later or tomorrow, and that way you won't be wearing it on your hips. And you think about the bowl games coming up, people watching football games all day long and constantly eating. That's one of the easiest and quickest ways to gain weight. It's better just to space the meals out throughout the day, even during the holidays.
That's interesting that you said that. Insulin resistance. Your body's creating too much insulin, and the insulin is actually going to trigger a storage of the calories. Yeah, eating within that certain time frame, it certainly makes sense. Instead of eating all day long, do small little meals within a couple hours of each other, and your metabolism is also going to pick up a little bit more, right?
That's right. And I always have my rules of 2 for eating for weight loss. Eat twice as often. We all love that. Eat half as much. Chew twice as long. Take twice the time to dine. That's what I'm talking about. Eat slowly, but finish within an hour. And then I do this, too. I use chopsticks usually when I eat, except if it's soup, because that makes me eat a little bit slower.
That is very interesting. All humanity, for that matter, especially in America and Canada, we get lunch and we wolf that lunch down. How fast can we eat that sandwich and get back to work? So it is very important to take that time and let your body create the enzymes, create the digestion process for the food that you're taking in.
That's right. Savor your food. Breathe deeply when you eat. Say grace before you eat, and enjoy every bite.
Michael Schwartz is an author, lecturer, and holistic nutritional consultant. He was educated in the workings of the mind as it relates to the creation of one's own personal physical reality. He entered the health food industry in 1975, and in the ensuing years, he discovered his talent for herbal and nutritional healing. This led him to establish a naturopathic practice, and after many years of assisting clients to regain their health on multiple levels, such as physical, material, social, spiritual, and emotional, his supplement company was formed in 1984. Michael Schwartz is available for personal appearances and private consultations. For more info, please visit www.innerhealthbooks.com. Welcome to the show, Michael Schwartz.
Thank you, Chris. It's an honor to be here. I was listening to you two guys and listening to what Susan said, and I love the 2 thing, but the only thing that really got to me was eating half as much. Oh my God. I was thinking you were going to say eat twice as much, since it's going to be twice as good as you normally get. So
I'm sorry.
But other than that, I thought it was absolutely fabulous information. You know, something else that people can do during the holiday season from a nutritional point of view to facilitate not only the utilization of the food, but also to facilitate elimination. If there's a need, let me back up. If they're not doing vitamins, and the reason I bring that up and say it in that way, Chris, is because the B vitamins, if you're doing the B complex, you're going to make your digestive enzymes. However, because the B vitamins are water dispersible and can be depleted by stress, some people need digestive enzymes. So I would say, in addition to everything Susan said, you may want to carry some digestive enzymes with you to the meal, as well as doing some probiotics. That way, you can ensure that you're going to break down the food, you're going to get the nutrient content out of the food. Of course, we're assuming that, you know, all the veggies are organic and that the turkey is organic and or the ham. Well, ham can't be organic. It's not even a thing to eat, but I'm not going to go there. So that, you know, at least with probiotics in the system, there's not going to be any constipation. You're going to have great digestion. You're going to have great nutrient assimilation. And for me, that's the most important thing, is to ensure that you're getting the nutrients that you need in order to keep and maintain a healthy body.
Now, let's back up a little bit. Now, you mentioned enzymes and probiotics. When you say take an enzyme, there's a lot of different enzymes out there. Our body has hundreds of them for breaking down food. Is there a specific one that you would recommend that would work for, let's say, 90% of the population?
Well, that's a loaded question because I'm a company man and I have my own company, so I'm a little prejudiced.
Well, go ahead and pitch yourself, Michael.
And I think I can probably say, you know, look for a comprehensive enzyme that will take care, you know, it should have protease, lipase, amylase, and I use those nutrients. Also trypsin, chymotrypsin to digest protein, because the thing that you want to break down the most is protein, so that you get the utilization and the bodybuilding aspects of the protein, and so that you don't end up with corrupted protein chains, what we would call incomplete proteins, which are detrimental to the body. So digestive enzymes, a good comprehensive one, will take care of that.
Now, of course, if your body isn't digesting all of its food, most of North America has got a problem like this. If you have undigested particles of food floating through your blood, floating through your body, this is going to cause things like brain fog. It's going to cause poor digestion. It's going to cause low energy. Do you ever see this as a big problem within your practice?
Oh, my God. America, Canada, I'm assuming that the Canadians are as sick as we are here in the States, and the American diet is a horrible diet. And I'm assuming that the Canadian diet is probably a horrible diet. So, yes, we see all kinds of things. I mean, when you take into consideration that America is like the 18th, you know, or I'll say United States more appropriately, the United States is the 18th or 19th sickest nation in the world, and we spend more money per person, per head, including babies, than any other country in the world. Actually, last time I did the research, 2009, okay, so that's almost 7 years ago, we spent $6,337 per every man, woman, and child in this country on ill care. The only health care you're ever going to get is in a natural food store.
I understand what you're saying. Susan.
Yeah, I was just going to chime in since we're talking about digestion and energy and not gaining weight during the holidays. And Michael, you don't even know this, but today I posted a blog. So my website's simple to remember. It's my name, SusanSmithJones.com. And in the first blog, it's my 21 surefire tips to survive and enjoy the holidays without weight gain, fatigue, or depression. And so you'll get lots of tips there. And one of my tips, Michael, has to do with 3 of your products that I take all year long, but sometimes I take a little bit extra during the holidays. And so right there in my first blog, you can read my article about how to keep the weight off during the holidays, and you can read more. And also, this week I have a new book I'm debuting right in the sidebar of my website. Click on the cover of The Curative Kitchen and Lifestyle. It just came out this week, and it's a beautiful book, full color, lots of photographs, with all the tips you need to stay healthy and full of energy year-round.
Congratulations on the book.
Congratulations. Yes, indeed. Now, I got a question. Why is it that males put all their weight on their gut, and women, it's mostly on the hips and around other areas of the body? What is the metabolism factor that causes this?
The mechanism for metabolism is really not diet, but it's muscle. And the more lean muscle tissue you have on your body, the higher metabolism you have, the easier you'll have to lose weight. And men have more muscle on their body usually than women. So you'll find that men don't gain so much around their whole body. They gain more around the middle. They often don't exercise that area as well. And the women I work with all over the world, that they'll gain it just about everywhere, in their face, in their neck, in their arms, even in their chest, their core area, their hips, their thighs. And that's because women forget one of the most important keys to keeping the weight off, and that is you've got to exercise on a regular basis, and you need to combine weight training that will boost your metabolism, which means you can eat more calories without gaining weight, and you've got to do some aerobic activity. This is all in my first blog there. You can read that. And the exercise will definitely help you to not gain the weight. It's like swimming upstream if you try to lose weight just by diet. You've got to change the body chemistry, and you do that through the exercise.
Absolutely agree.
Your body learns how to burn calories properly. It knows when, okay, I'm supposed to burn calories instead of sitting on my butt and watching Price is Right.
Is that what you watch?
Yeah.
That's the only show we have in Canada. Michael.
Well, the things that I would throw out are two different things. Number one, as far as guys with the bellies, I don't know if it's beer or wine, because guys have a tendency to drink. We also, because of the stress, we're eating more, and one of the side effects, obviously, is weight gain, and we put it on in our bellies. Obviously, it's the weakest area that we have, so to speak. As far as women go, I think women have all the extra padding. It's probably part of our species survival mechanism, since the women are the one that bear fruit. They continue the species, so they always need an extra reserve of everything to have at a moment's notice in the event that they become pregnant and in the event that they're building another vehicle.
And that makes perfect sense. Our bodies, by design, from the beginning, are designed to act a certain way. You go back to primitive forms of life, there's all these mechanisms of safety. What if there's no food? We need to store food in our bodies in case that there's a shortage, that we can't find any food now for a week, so we've got to live off our stores. So you have a lot of these types of mechanisms within us that are a safeguard, that are going to keep us from starving. Our body stores water for the same reason. Now, here's a big question. All of these types of diet pills, all these pills that claim weight loss, take this Garcinia Cambogia, and Dr. Oz says you're going to lose a ton of weight.
Yeah, let me just say, loud and clearly, that diets do not work. They might initially help you lose a little bit of weight, but they don't get down to why you're really gaining weight, and it has to do with your body chemistry. Also, both of you talked about the stress in the body. That often causes most people just to want to chew and eat more food. When most people are stressed out, they eat more. How often have you found yourself standing in front of the refrigerator with the door open, just staring to see what calls out to you? And all these diet pills that people take always have side effects. Now, to help you boost your metabolism, besides the exercise, Michael, you might want to talk a little bit about your fat metabolism factors, because everyone that I've recommended it to say to me they wish they had it years ago. They wouldn't go through so much misery in trying to lose weight. So you might want to touch on that and your thyroid factors, because if our thyroid isn't where it should be, we don't burn calories very efficiently. But I never recommend over-the-counter or prescription diet pills, but there are these natural supplements, Michael, like yours, that can help you to lose weight. Why don't you talk about, excuse me, your fat metabolism factors?
Well, what I was going to say is that it really depends on the product, Chris, because as Susan brought up, there's some over-the-counter stuff that I wouldn't even give to my pet. Okay, and it should never be allowed for human consumption. But of course, the pharmaceutical companies and the FDA, it's okay because the number of people that it kills is really small and the benefit may be great. The way to really look at weight loss is how does the body regulate itself? And that's how I think. In all of my formulas, I always come at it from the same way. Whenever I work with the client, my first thought is, how would the body heal itself? Because what people forget is that because of the medical indoctrination and the pharmaceutical indoctrination, people forget that the body is God's creation. It is a divine vehicle. It has its own divine intelligence. It seeks balance and harmony. What gets in the way is what's between our ears, marketing, advertising, and the diet pill. So the really first rule is look at the diet pill formula. Susan's talking about my fat metabolism, and how I formulated that was exactly looking at how the body regulates itself. It uses, and here's the ingredients in the fat metabolism factors: choline, inositol, methionine. These are considered to be lipotropic nutrients. Lipo for fat, tropic for heat and burning. There's also potassium and B6. Why? Because you have to balance out the water, and the body seeks to do that. But however, one of the catch-22s is that because of the diet, and if so many people are not doing a supplement, a nutritional supplement, then they're not getting the nutrients that they require or that the body requires in order to maintain homeostasis or balance and harmony. So what I did is I took that understanding and I created the fat metabolism factors, and I threw in some herbs like uva ursa, hydrangea, parsley, and these are all known also to work in helping the body to maintain water balance, correct, proper osmosis. And the real secret, the other secret, is the thyroid, like Susan said. If your thyroid is not operating at normal levels, and normal is really a strange word and not an appropriate word, because I don't think that the medical let me give you a quick story, if I may. When my wife and I got married, we went and had our cholesterol checked. Now remember that I'm going back 45 years, and we're vegetarians at the time, and we still maintain a vegetarian lifestyle. Anyway, my future mother-in-law worked at the doctor. I go in, he comes out, we get our blood test. He says, you kids, your cholesterol levels are abnormally low. So, me being who I am, what constitutes normal? He said, well, we take, they'll take an average. They'll take 10 people, they'll do their numbers, and then they'll average it out, and that becomes the norm. I said, well, did you ever do that with healthy people? Do you know that he looked at my mother-in-law, he turned to her and said, I'm done, they're done, and walked away from us. So all of the, isn't that interesting? All of the norms are based on our current health picture. And guess what? We're sick. So with the thyroid, you need, as Susan said, the manganese, the tyrosine, iodine. And the reason that my thyroid factors as a formula seems to help people is because, again, the way that I think. I give the body what it needs to manufacture what it needs. because it's like any building project. You know, you can assemble a doghouse, right? But if you don't have nails or screws and you got all the wood, so what? Great, you can put it together, but it won't stay together. Same thing with building the body. You need to give it every little incremental thing that it requires, but do so in meaningful amounts.
Give the body what it needs and it will heal itself. That is simple, but yet profound. I mean, what else do you need to know? Eat the right nutrients, stay away from the garbage food, stay away from the Mickey D's and all of the fast food stuff. Sorry, Mickey D's, I didn't mean to diss you, but you're in that group. Stay away from all that garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Whenever you eat one of those things and all of a sudden you got to run to the bathroom, there's a reason for that now, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
People come in and they say, Chris, no matter what I do, no matter what I take, no matter what diet I'm on, no matter what exercise program, my body does not want to lose weight.
I had earlier today a consultation with a woman who said that exact thing. And apparently, I think everyone who has a weight issue says the same thing. And here's what I said to her. First and foremost, I love when people say, I've tried everything. And I'll say to some, okay, right, you've done this too, I'm sure, Chris. They'll tell you, I've tried everything, and then you say, well, have you tried this? Oh, no, that one I didn't try. Because whenever people tell me they've tried everything, I always say, well, did you try whatever the product is about, whatever they're talking about, and oh, no, they didn't. So, no, you didn't try everything, number one. Number two, they're holding on to the weight because it serves them psychologically, emotionally. I say there's three causes for people to retain weight. One, it's padding. If I'm heavy, you can't hurt me. You can touch me, punch me all you want. You're never going to reach my center. You're not going to hurt me. Number one. Number two, if I make myself so unappealing, nobody will get near me and they can't hurt me. Number three, I like to throw my weight around because I'm an authoritative person. So those are three good reasons why some people would hold on to their weight, no matter, quote unquote, what they do. What they need to do is understand emotionally why they're retaining their weight, why they put on the weight, why they're holding on to it, and how does that weight serve them.
That resonates perfectly. You look at society nowadays, and sadly, many young girls are getting abused by family members and people within their community. And it's a lot higher than we think it is because we don't hear about it all. Emotionally and mentally, these women subconsciously even put on this weight so that they will not be attractive and nobody's going to want to do this again to them. So I certainly understand that aspect, keeping on weight or your body's subconscious not wanting to let it go. That certainly makes sense. Susan, what do you got to say?
Yes, I hear this all the time as well from people saying, I need to lose weight. I think I've tried everything. What do you recommend? And the first thing I usually say to them is, how much sleep are you getting at night? And they say, oh, yeah, I sleep really well. I get enough sleep. I get 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. And then I let them know that lack of sleep interferes with your body's ability to process carbohydrates and causes one of the stress hormones in your body called cortisol to remain high at night and during the day. And when that cortisol level is higher, because you don't get enough sleep and you need a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, and especially if you want to lose weight and not make that an issue in your life anymore. But when you don't get enough sleep and it's chronic, I don't mean once or twice a month, but it's chronic all the time, then it causes your body to hold on to all of the calories you eat, even calories from good food. And it also throws your willpower out the window. So you need to make sure you get enough sleep. And you also need to eat lots of healthy raw foods, lots of produce. A good way to think of nutritious food is this. Produce is the most important health care that your money can buy. And you can choose to eat delectable foods that just happen to be potent medicines, wonderful superfoods that heal the body and restore vibrant health. And you get in lots of trouble if you eat mostly a cooked diet. So you want to add in as many fresh fruits and vegetables and sprouts and other raw foods that you can. Also, keep in mind that health comes from the farm and not the pharmacy. And all the healthy foods you eat puts money into your health bank account. And you're in charge of your health destiny. No one, we hope, shoves the food down your throat. You decide what it is you eat. And as my grandmother always used to say to me, eat your foods as close to the way nature made them as possible. And she would say, you don't find in nature ice cream trees and donut vines and potato chip bushes. So eat a colorful diet of lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. And I'll also mention this final thing. If your body is really toxic, as most bodies are, that means it will become more acidic. And when you're more acidic in your body, you hold on to fat. And it's good to go on a detox program because you know, Michael, I take your Ultimate Cleanse and Detox tablets all the time. You've got a wonderful formula where you put everything right in these little packets, and I take them with me, especially when I'm traveling too. And I like that today you're giving all of, Michael, I know you told me this, you're giving all of Michael's listeners, if they go to your website, michaelshealth.com, a 25% discount on anything that you offer there if they use the code Vitality15.
You know, one of the things that you brought up, Susan, was about acidity, and it's interesting. The American diet is very acidifying to the body. And bacteria, germs, I'll use that as a catch-all, viruses, funguses, they love an acidic environment. How an individual can tell if their body is acidic, if you ever get ulcers on the inside of your cheek, that lets you know your body is too acidic. And in that case, you know, one, it tells me you're not eating enough fruits and veggies. But in order to get rid of that problem ASAP, look at dried figs. The calamari dried, well, that sounds like the octopus. Calamari dried figs are fabulous, or the umbashi plums from the macrobiotic diet. Both of those are highly alkalizing, and that will take care of that. The other thing I wanted to bring up was take a look at the supermarkets. Supermarkets are like 50,000 square feet stores, right? What is the size of the produce department in most of those stores? If it's 1,000 feet, that would be a lot. So you can begin to see the consciousness of the shopper based on how what the grocery store, where they're allocating space. And it is unfortunate that 90% of the population does not do salads on a consistent basis, does not eat fresh veggies. You know, they're steamed, they're boiled, they're frozen. Well, they don't eat them frozen, but, you know, you get the point. We are not conditioned to eat a healthy diet. You have to fight your own emotional associations with food to get to the place where you can begin to eat a healthy diet to create a healthy body.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you go to the grocery store, and to find the organic section, it's like, can you tell me where the organic section is? And then you know, somebody will have to ask somebody else. The organic component within our grocery stores is very, very limited. What I find in Winnipeg anyways is, well, where do you find organic meat? There's 2 places that I know of in this vicinity of Winnipeg that you can buy it, and the hours are so bad that after work they're closed and you can't go and get anything. You have to spend time on the weekend and fight the lineup to get some organic meats. Now, my wife and I did an experiment. Within my clinic, I also do live blood dark field microscopy. So what I was doing is monitoring my blood, taking a sample every day and putting it under the microscope. And with what I see within everybody is the red blood cells are stacking up and stuck together like a roll of coins. It's called Rolu. So we started juicing. We bought a real good Breville juicer and got all kinds of good greens, and we did beets and we did all kinds of stuff and just made the juice and started drinking it. And we did a 7-day juice fast. And I never thought about a cheeseburger so much in my life. Anyways, we did this juice fast. and I put my blood under the microscope, and the health of the red blood cells was like a newborn baby. They were big, fat, round, not stuck together. The background of the blood, the plasma was really clear. So that told me right there and then the right nutrients. And a big thing with fresh vegetables and greens is the enzyme activity that's within them, that's going to eat. It's going to digest all of that food that's flying around within your blood. So that told me right there and then, okay, veggies have got to be a very big component. Raw veggies have to be a bigger component within your diet, because if you heat them up and cook them, now you're cooking out all the enzymes. You're killing the live bacteria and enzymes within that food that's going to help your body to digest.
Absolutely. Oh, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 years ago when I first came into the health food industry, that the way the human mouth is based on teeth, the Chinese say that, and if you look at an animal, you can see the truth in this, that we are designed to be herbivores. Why? Because we have molars to grind our food down, to grind down nuts, to grind down bark, if you will, to grind things down. And you take a look at an animal, all of their teeth are like incisors. They're all sharp, because what do? They tear and swallow. They don't even chew. So we're designed to chew where animals are not. We have a 26-foot long intestinal tract. Animals have a 5. Is it any wonder why we have so much disease? Because people are, on some levels, not chewing, not completely breaking down the food. It's putrefying in the intestinal tract. That's why there's so much, people have distended bowels, they have gas, they have all kinds of unhealthy stuff going on, and colon cancer. It's because the food is rotting there in the body. So yeah, the going to a more vegetarian lifestyle and more, fruits and veggies and whole grains, 100% whole grains, organically grown, it will change everything in a person's life. They'll have more energy, more vitality. What you saw with the blood, imagine what's going on in the brain. Clearer, sharper, no coagulation, no stupidity. Wouldn't that be nice if there wasn't any of that in the world?
And Bob? Now, of course, another good way to tell the health of a person is by looking in their eyes. The whites of the eyes, are they nice and clear? Is there a ring around the iris? Is there any kind of funkiness going on in their eyes? That's what I find. The first thing I do when I see a client, I look in their eyes briefly, and I blink my eyes and say, "Oh, I'm just having a quick look at your eyes and see how pretty they are." But I'm looking to see, is there any veins sticking out? Is there any discoloration? And that gives you an idea of toxicity levels. A level on a gas tank, it shows a level of gas. You can see the level of toxicity in a person of how clear their eyes are.
That's the iridology. And ever since I was a teenager, I have fresh juice every day, and I usually make it at home. That was until about a year ago, because how nice it was that 2 blocks from my home are in one block. In one block, there are 3 places to get fresh juice, freshly made. So now I stop by there every day and I get juice. And my grandmother taught me to take 1 day weekly and 3 consecutive days monthly, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and 7 to 14 days with each change of season, and do some type of detox. And on those days, like you did, Chris, on the 1 day and the 3 day monthly, I usually just do juices. Sometimes I add in a green smoothie, and that's one of the quickest ways to change bad eating habits, to alkalize your body, to give you energy, to help you sleep better. And, people often say, "Susan, but you know what? I'm addicted to white sugar and white flour and dairy products, and how do I get rid of these addictions? I want it so much that I'd almost kill to get the dairy." And I tell people that you should think about making a 21-day agreement. And by the way, I've got a search bar in the sidebar of my website, SusanSmithJones.com. Put in 21-day agreement. You'll find 2 or 3 articles. You'll also find a page that you can print out where I have 25 lines on it, and I help you make your own 21-day agreement. You'll say I, and then the blank part you put in your name, agree and commit to for 21 days I will, and you say what you're going to do. And remember, Ben Franklin said that whatever you do for 21 days will make or break a habit. And behavioral scientists now know that in 21 days of leaving something out, like maybe ice cream every night for dessert, after 21 days you'll no longer crave it. Or if you bring in a new habit, like I'll eat 5 servings of vegetables and fruits every day, then that will easily become a new habit. So we're not saying you've got to do it for a year or 6 months, but most people can commit to a simple 21 days. And for over 30 years, every single month, I make a commitment to either let something go or to bring something into my diet. Like this month, it's drinking more water, because I know that will benefit me through the holidays. And sometimes I combine 2 things together, like drinking more water and exercising longer. So I make at least 12 beneficial changes in my life every year, and it's doable. It's not threatening. And if you skip day 3 or day 20, you've got to start back over.
Well,
but most people can commit to 21 days.
Yeah, most people feel that it's such a daunting task. Oh, I need to change the way I eat. I need to change my lifestyle. Once you really get into it, and you can actually feel a difference within your body, that you feel a bit more alive, you got some energy, then you realize, okay, this ain't going to be so hard because I like the way I feel.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned something about detoxing. One thing that I do see within a lot of people is, they call me up and say, okay, I feel crappy. I shouldn't be, because I'm doing this detox and that detox and this detox. They're doing like 4 different detoxes at once. And I says, no wonder you're feeling crappy. Your body's releasing so many toxins, you're shutting down. Yeah. So the detoxification process is a very, very specific and intricate part of getting healthy. And for people who get overboard with detoxes, you're just doing more harm to your body than good. Am I right?
To a point, absolutely, because there's a universal teaching that says excess leads to rejection. What's interesting, Chris, is that the body has an ongoing detoxification process. Otherwise, we'd all be dead. But what it requires is iron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. Those 4 minerals support natural detoxification. That's why they're in my Detox and Cleanse program. But most detox products out there are all herbally based. And what they're doing is they're releasing too many toxins too fast without any moderation. And so, people, not only do they feel like death warmed over, some of them smell like death warmed over.
And Michael, I know your 2 detox programs that I use year-round, they're not designed to be weight loss programs, but myself and everyone I know who uses them find that they always lose weight.
Yeah, that's because I'm heavy into, when I work on detox fat of the body, because that's where the toxins are stored, so we're using choline, inositol, methionine, lecithin. And then the liver, which helps the body to clean the blood, to get rid of the toxins, to render them harmless. And what cannot be rendered harmless also ends up getting stored in the fat, and the liver becomes fatty because of the diet. So there's more choline, inositol, lecithin in the liver wellness formula. So altogether, I've heard people lose as much as 15 pounds over the 2-week program.
That's amazing, because everybody's looking for that right fit, and everybody's body is so different. What works for one person may not work for another, but this sounds like it's chemically correct for what your body needs, for what today's problems are. It's not just a general problem. It's the crappy food that's going in our bodies that's getting stored. So if you have the right combination of herbs, minerals, vitamins, it's going to detox the body the way what it needs to be detoxed, correct?
Susan brought up a thing about sleep. And the reason most people can't sleep, people are not getting enough minerals in their food. And if they are a vitamin person and they're taking a multivitamin, in all probability, there's still not enough minerals even in that. That's why I tell people, take your minerals at night as a separate formula. You'll sleep better. It's better for the body.
I was going to say, Michael, I take your essential minerals about 45 minutes before I go to bed every night. And I want people to know that during the holidays, eat what you want, but that doesn't mean you have to eat 3 servings of dessert. Doesn't mean you have to lick the plate clean. And there are many foods during the holidays that are so good for you, like cranberries, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, pumpkin, apples, sweet potatoes, pomegranates, pecans, walnuts, and even dark chocolate. That doesn't mean you need a pound of dark chocolate a day. But enjoy the food, because if you're upset eating and you feel guilty, that's going to be worse for your body than eating something that's not very good for you. And know that the next day you'll do some extra exercise and you'll get the sleep you need. But you should enjoy what you eat during the holidays.
Is there an importance on what type of food you eat when? Like, I know that if you have a big meal and then you figure, well, I'm going to do something really good and have some fruit and berries after my meal for dessert, and all of a sudden you get a real bad tummy ache, that's because the fruit and berries, they digest a lot faster than the carbs and proteins, and they start to rot in your body. Is there any specific formula for eating, let's say, a big Christmas dinner where you got like 5 different things to choose from and your plate is loaded up, you got this, you got that, and you got some dessert set aside? Of course, you're going to have some. Is there any specific order that you should eat these foods?
Let me give you a couple of different thoughts. One of them is from New York. Forget about it. Don't even worry about it. Okay, that's New York. Now, there is a proper way to eat. And then there's the Adele Davis way to eat. And she said you eat like a king in the morning, a prince in the afternoon, and a pauper in the evening. That was Adele Davis. I think the Shelton, who was curing cancer and every other kind of thing, the approach to eating there is you eat your carbohydrates first because they're rapid digesters. You eat your proteins second and your fats last, because if you eat the fats before you eat any of the other two, the fats will impede digestion. So there's
I
a couple
always
of different ways
say
to approach
eat high fiber foods first. Like if you go to an Italian restaurant, have the salad and the veggies first, and even vegetable soup before you inhale the pasta or pizza, because the fiber will fill you up more and you won't have as much room for that big plate of pasta and the whole pizza.
A couple glasses of water 20 minutes before mealtime, fill up your stomach a little bit more. As you said,
put a few chia seeds in that, Chris.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Like an hour before, take a big glass of water, put a tablespoon of chia seeds and stir it and let it sit for 30 minutes. So this means 30 minutes before, just down that glass of water that has the hydrated chia seeds, and it will really help curb your appetite.
Okay, that's good advice. Water is, I think, something that everybody lacks in their life in one way, shape, or form. We're all too busy to drink water. Okay, I've got probably
we
the
gotta
pure...
cancel that, though, because a little bit of dehydration in your body slows down your metabolism. And if you want to lose weight and not struggle with weighty issues, you've got to keep your body fully hydrated. And remember, liquids like alcohol, soda pop, caffeinated teas, even chocolate milk, things like that, they all dehydrate the body. Fresh fruit and vegetable juices and decaffeinated teas can count towards your water tally. But when you take in things with caffeine or alcohol and all the sodas, that really dehydrates your body and makes your body more acidic.
Yeah, when you wake up in the morning with that hangover, that's because your brain is dehydrated. It's just a common, and it's a big deal. Now, people, number one, stay away from the soft drinks. So, okay, never mind. I'm going to stay away from the soft drinks with sugar. I'm going to drink a diet soft drink and do something good for my body. No,
Red Bull.
Oh my goodness, people, get a brain before you lose it drinking that crap.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
we can enjoy a Merry Christmas. We can enjoy a holiday season with all the foods that are set before us. There are certain things that you can do so your body isn't going to bloat out and become Michelin Man. Michael, what's your website again?
michaelshealth.com is the supplements, and I do just michaelshealth.com.
And Susan, where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, and remember, at Michael's website, 25% off for a limited time on anything, any of his formulas with the code Vitality15. My website is susansmithjones.com. Check my blog today, and in the sidebar, my brand new book, The Curative Kitchen and Lifestyle.
Well, tonight on A Quantum View, our guests have been the wonderful Michael Schwartz and Dr. Susan Smith-Jones. Thank you to the two of you for being on and providing some quality education for humanity. This is Chris Kehler. We're out of here.